Hello there. Welcome to another episode of Life Executed. My name is Stacy Paulin. Thank you for joining me again today or tonight. It's late. I work nights, so even when I'm not working, I'm always up late. I've always been a night owl. I wanted to talk tonight about the start of financial independence and the importance of making wise decisions to set you up for financial independence. I was just listening to another podcast, a financial independence based podcast, and the guest on the show was talking about their life prior to FI that led up to her and her husband becoming financially independent, financially successful, free, able to do whatever they want. And she was talking about how she didn't have any student loan debt going into financial independence or in her quest seeking financial independence. She didn't have a lot of credit card debt, didn't have huge overhead, very, very low cost of living, and just was in a really good position to begin with to achieve financial independence. And I think it's very important for people to know because it's not always obvious to people how uncommon of a start that is for a lot of people. There's some people who are really fortunate to have no debt, no credit cards, a parent who purchased a car for them, a parent who paid for their college education, a parent who helped to put the first down payment on a home, a parent who paid for the wedding, family and friends who are wealthy and well-to-do that can pull you up and help you along. There are a lot of people who don't have that. So we don't all start from the same place. On the other hand, those of us who may be a little less advantaged shouldn't use the fact that we are less so as a crutch. We need to still work just as hard and still expect to have the same outcome. It may be a little more difficult for us. It may take a little longer, and in some cases, it may not take as long, but we still have the opportunities available to us. So I wanted to start off with that because I think a lot of people, everyone always thinks there's a catch when you hear someone saying, "Yeah, I achieved financial independence in 5 years, and I came up, I got there with nothing." And a lot of us are like, "Really? Did you really get there with nothing? Like you started from dirt, and now you're a multimillionaire." And then when you dig a little bit deeper into the story, you find out all of the things, all of the circumstances surrounding that person's life that allowed them to achieve the goal in the time frame that they did. And I'm over here in the corner saying, wait a minute, not all of us are that privileged, or not all of us have the same story. So again, I think we all need to recognize that we're all starting from different places. We don't all have the same benefits and privileges we're not all starting at the same starting line. Some of us are here, some of us are way in the back somewhere, but the finish line is still available to all of us. Some of us will have a longer race to run, and some of us will have to sprint to get there. Some of us will sprint and get there. Some of us will have to take a few laps to get there. Some of us, it's a marathon. It just is going to take a long time. Um, one one thing that I've always said that I would do if I could speak to my younger self is I would tell my younger self to start smarter. Start smart. I don't regret my collegiate studies. I think I mentioned this in one of the previous vlogs that I went to college and my undergraduate degree was in music and vocal performance. And I cannot tell you the amount of opportunities that came my way as I was pursuing that degree and after I achieved that degree. I wouldn't have been able to achieve my master's had I not had my bachelor's, before, obviously. But having a degree in music really opened my eyes to it unveiled a world that I didn't even know existed. So it afforded lots of benefits in that way. But I think had I started smarter, I probably would have chosen a degree. Because I still could have done music. I mean, it's not that pursuing another degree would have prevented me from performing and traveling and singing and doing all those things. But I would have pursued a degree that would have made me more employable and would have commanded a decent salary. My rule of thumb that I've shared with my sister and I've shared with younger people every chance I get is that your job out of college, the annual salary that that job commands, and not necessarily your first year or two or three out, but I would say about year 4 or 5, you should be at an annual salary that pays annually the amount that your degree cost you. For instance, if I have a degree that cost me $65,000 to get, my career, the job that I will ultimately get from that degree, needs to pay me an annual salary of about $65,000. That is my rubric. That's my standard. I certainly didn't go that route, but that is the advice that I would give a younger person going to college. It's great to be an artist. I love art. I'm a musician at heart. I would never tell anyone not to follow their dreams, not to follow their creative endeavors, their creative interests. But at the same time, you have to be smart and you want to start smart. And in order to do that, you have to think about ways to make yourself employable, make ways to make yourself financially independent so that you don't have to depend on anyone else to take care of you. And that's the way you do it. You use that degree or you use the skills that you get to get a job, and you use the money that you earn from that job to invest and funnel into invest in other things. That's the way you do it. That's the way you do it. I did not do it that way. I ultimately did it that way. But on the front end, when I was 19, 20, 21 years old, had I done it that way, I would have been a lot farther along at this point. So that's my first bit of advice to younger people who may be watching this video. Start smart, follow your heart, follow your dreams, do what you want to do, but be smart about it. And if you're going to fork over tens of thousands of dollars for a degree, make sure the job that that degree will qualify you for pays you an annual salary that is equal to the amount that you paid for the degree itself. Okay? For many of us who are years and years beyond our 20s, we just have to start where we are. There's no going back to college to get, to get those years back. For me, what I had to do is I had to go back to school and I had to get a job, a career that was in high demand, something that I was passionate about, that I was very excited to pursue. And at the same time, that was going to pay me a salary, again, an annual salary that would pay for the degree. And that's what I did. And so when I graduated from when I finished my master's program, I was able to take the money that I was making in my new career, and now I'm funneling it into investment properties. If it doesn't matter if you have the ability to go back to college, find a skill that you can monopolize on. Find something that you can offer someone else that is in high demand. It may be that you can take an online course. It may be that you can start your own business, which is what I would highly recommend. It may be that you partner with someone to create a new product, a new application, a new invention. Do whatever it is, but do it with passion. Make sure that you're enjoying it, but understand that This isn't the end game unless you enjoy it. Like, and we talked about this on the last vlog. It's not that many of us are trying um, to run away from work. There are a lot of people who want to work the rest of their lives. They're happy working in their careers. They love their careers. But there are some of us, me included, who know that we don't want to work for the rest of our lives in the career that we've chosen. We want to do our time, do what it is that we want, that we need to do in that realm, in that space, and then move on to something else. And that's perfectly fine. So, starting where you are as an older person, whether you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, find a skill. If you have a skill, if you don't, develop a skill that's employable, that's marketable. Make yourself available to people who could utilize your services, and as the money starts to come in, then you can funnel it into investments that are going to pay you handsomely. And that's the way that you do it. I'm happy to give you an update on our investments right now. For the month of July, we are set to close on another property. We closed on a single family home last week. I'm really excited about that. And next week we're set to schedule, or we're set to close on our second property for the month. It's going to be our very first duplex. I'm super excited about that. A little bit nervous as well because it'll be our very first rehab project. Every single home we've ever purchased has needed some level of work. This one will actually require some gutting. Like, the bathrooms need to be gutted, the laundry spaces need to be gutted, the kitchens, new countertops, new cabinets, new flooring, new light fixtures, new paint, new roof. Everything needs to be done. So this is going to be a big endeavor for us. Very first time. I'm certain it's probably not going to be as scary as we're thinking it is right now, but it's always scary the first time. We actually closed on a refinance on one of our rental properties last week. So there's so many things going on right now, and we're funneling that money into this duplex and hopefully into another property. So lots of fun things, lots of exciting things going on today. But I just wanted to come on today and talk about the importance of starting smart. If you're a young person, if your goal is financial freedom, use time, because time is on your side, and use your brains. Be smart about the decisions you make in terms of the degree that you're going to pursue or the skill set that you're going to pursue. Make sure it's in high demand. Try to pay the least amount of money that you can for it, and make sure it pays you well once you're done. If you're older, late 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, whatever, it's never, ever, ever too late to invest or to start investing, but invest in yourself just like a younger person would. It may take you a little bit longer, but you may find you're in a different stage of life. You have different opportunities available to you, and don't think that because you're older you're disadvantaged. You're not. You have a lot of skills that a younger person without your experience would never have to offer anybody. Capitalize on those skills and start a business. Open up an Etsy shop. Um, Start wholesaling in real estate. Start flipping if you can. Partner with people who are interested in doing the same things that you're doing. And as the money starts to come in, then you can begin to funnel those investments where you ultimately want them to be, where you want them to go. So I hope this was helpful to somebody. Please feel free to leave comments, reach out to me, and I hope to see you on the next episode. Take care.